Hello. I think it's working. Hey y'all, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. Today is October 19th, 2017. This is episode, let me look at my notes, 132. Thank you so much everyone for stopping in and taking a little bit of time today to just sit and chat with me about knitting. I have a little bit to talk about. I have a few finished objects, which is exciting. I have some new knitting, new-ish knitting, and then I also have a Hello Lovely to share with you. So let's jump right in with announcements. First of all, the first thing that I want to say is that we, let's see, Breathing Space Cal, which I'm a total fail on because I'm in this WIP cracking thing. WIP cracking thing. There's a small group of friends and I are really, we sort of set some personal goals for us, but kind of we have a deadline at the beginning of the year, early on in 2018, that we would like to really, just some longer term knitting goals that we set for ourselves. And so it's really awesome because we're encouraging each other to really stay focused. And it's sort of like Weight Watchers for knitters because it's whatever we wanted it to be. There's, one of us in the group has a very, very organized, very small, manageable stash. And then there's someone like me that has a huge stash and also a huge stash of a yarn business. So, and I also tend to have an insane amount of projects going at any one given time. So, it's exciting to keep that reined in. So that's been fun. All of that to say, the Breathing Space Cal is still going. Oh my gosh, there are some gorgeous sweaters in there. There is one of you is knitting it out of a gradient, like gradient yarn, the stripes, and it's stunning. So I really encourage you, if you're just looking for some fun, beautiful works in progress, I really encourage you to go over there and take a look at those projects. So really that's it for announcements, I think, which is kind of fun. I do want to jump into finished objects because I have two. The first thing that I have is a pair of finished socks. These are my Desert Vista Dye Works socks in the Eau Clark colorway, which you can see is kind of patriotic looking, which is fun, but it's Eau Clark inspired by the movie cover of Griswold's Family Christmas Vacation, with the colors of the Santa suit that he's wearing in the background, and then the string of lights is that one speckled stripe. So these were super fun. I'm still undecided as if whether I'm going to keep these or these may end up being a gift for my oldest son, who really almost is so close to being able to wear socks that are my size. So that's kind of something. Eventually they will be bigger and they will no longer get knit socks from me because anyone that has a bigger foot than me tends to not get knit socks. But anyway, those are done. And I have all of my notes and things on my Ravelry page, which I am really meticulous at Ravelry. The list maker in me needs that to be very up to date. I go through every few days and even update like my percentages of how far along I am in projects. I'm very, very weirdly meticulous with Ravelry. So all that to say, you can always go over to Ravelry and find out more information on yarn, patterns, any specific notes for that project if I made modifications. I really try to be very good over there, so that's always a great place to check. And in my show notes for each episode, when I do them, like last week there were no show notes. I'm very sorry about that. But when I do the show notes, there are links to the patterns, so you can always get that information there and link right on over to Ravelry. So this is my Eau Clark socks, and I believe that puts me at 14 pairs of socks finished for the year, and that's including maybe a few that were started before this year, but 14 pairs finished this year. The other thing that I finished, and I am probably going to take off this sweater so you can see, because I'm going to wear it and it's too hot still in Texas for multi-layers. I finished my Parker Street shawl, which I don't remember the last time that I talked about this on the podcast, but I finished those socks and I thought, you know, my WIP cracking goal for my little cowl with my friends is I really want to get these numbers down on projects. So that meant that I needed to focus on something and really just get it knocked out. The other reason that I chose this specific shawl to work on is I am leaving for Canada in a little over a week and a half. And I thought, what better than to have a big worsted weight MCN shawl than to bring that up to Canada with me, because my little southern girl really close to the equator blood, I love cold, but I get cold very easily. So I knew I would need lots of layers, lots of bundling. I know we're inside in a convention, I know, like in a hotel, but I still get very chilly. So I wanted to have a big worsted weight shawl, and it is here, and it is huge. Oh my gosh, that takes up the entire screen. It is so big, and I'm going to insert some pictures and some video of me talking about the shawl here. So that is Parker Street. I absolutely loved knitting it. I'm sad that it sat for a year before getting finished, but I'm so thrilled that it's finished now. As you saw, it is just huge and beautiful and lovely, and I'm just could not be more excited to have it ready to wear. So that is it for finished objects this week, and so I'm going to jump into works in progress. And again, staying on my theme of really kind of narrowing my focus on some things to finish and to concentrate on, I have chosen kind of one thing from a few categories to focus my attention on. So here's what they are this week. First up, we have a shawl that I started. You know, honestly, I can't remember if I had started this last time or if I was about to start it, but I have been working on it quite a bit, and I'm almost done with the first color. And so this shawl is called Kimba, and it's by Amba O'Brien, who is becoming one of my favorite pattern designers. I have done a couple of test knits for her. Her shawls and designs are so wearable. They're so fun to knit. And the way she plays with color is just really fun for me. So I'm enjoying that. But this is the beginning of this shawl. It's a very unique start, a start that I hadn't, if I've done it before, it's been a very long time. But this is the yarn. The yarn color that I have started with is called Menagerie. This is my hand-dyed yarn on the single sock base. This was the October color of the month. So this is no longer available in my shop. It will be, I think there might be maybe 1 or 2 mini skeins, maybe of it left, or maybe I haven't even put those in the shop yet, but it won't be available for a few months. And that's just kind of how the exclusive colorways work. They go away for a little while and then they come back. But I'm going to get close to show you this detail here. So it starts with this big section of garter at the top, and then I'm just now getting to this bottom where there's some shaping you can see and some lace, kind of like some chevron lace that's going to start happening here at the bottom. So I just love these colors, and it's interesting. I mean, I wear a lot of black and gray. I think a lot of people do, right? I wear a lot of black and gray. And I never would have dreamed that a yarn that had this much green, it has like a sagey green. I never would have dreamed that a yarn that has this much green in it would read this neutral, because I'm typically not a green person, but I'm absolutely in love with how this reads. And so I'm wearing gray, kind of a purpley gray shirt and a black cardigan. And I think something like this still reads very neutral. I'm looking at the screen here with you guys. Yeah, I think that it's going to be beautiful. Now, the other colors that I have planned for it are not quite as neutral. So that's going to be my pop of color. So I'm planning for this. And then I have Sage, which is just the light green, I believe. I don't think I've changed my mind on that. Pretty sure I'm still using Sage. And then I've got kind of a brighter pink and then Coal at the end. So yeah, I'm really excited about how this is going. So that's Kimba. And let me show you, I do have a picture of the actual shawl that's on the front of this pattern that I can show you without giving away anything. So there's the shawl. I am knitting the large size, which is this one. You can see that this one right there, let's see if this focuses. That one, it just uses, I guess it just uses 3 colors. This one uses 4, and it's a little bit longer. And I just don't have time for little shawls anymore. I just want them to be huge, especially after having that Parker Street shawl. Oh my gosh, it's so cozy and wonderful. And all I want to knit now, even more, are big shawls. So that is that. And I've just really enjoyed that. I haven't worked on it in about a week because I focused on that Parker Street shawl. But I am absolutely still in love with that project. The next thing that I pulled out to focus on, again, thinking, okay, Diane, you're going to Canada, you might need a hat. I do have some hats, of course, that are finished, and a couple of them I know I'm bringing, but I knew that I was going to want something new, and this one has been cast on for a little over a year. It is by Joji Locatelli, who will be at this retreat that I'm going to. And it's in two of my favorite colors. So I thought, you know, I really need to get this off the needles. So I actually pulled it out last night to work on a little bit and made, you know, some decent progress while watching the Astros completely lose for the third game in a row to the New York Yankees. Also, can I just say that I don't think that the announcers or the commentators could possibly be any more biased towards New York. Hometown team commentators much. That's all I'm going to say. Sorry if you're a Yankees fan, but we can't be friends until after this is over. And then we can be friends again. Oh, anyway, back to knitting. So here is the hat. This hat is called It's a Girl Thing, I think. Oh my gosh, if I said that wrong, I'm going to be so embarrassed. I'm almost positive that that's what this is. I was sent this yarn about a year ago or so. It is Dale Garn, pure eco baby wool, and it's lovely yarn to knit with. The two colors, and again, they don't have color names, but I can give you the numbers. The color numbers are 1302 and 1314. And it's 100% wool. I believe that, I can't read the language that this is written in, but I believe that it is 100% organic wool, but I could be wrong. But it is quite soft. I don't think it's superwash, but again, I could be wrong because I cannot read all of the words. But it is a beautiful kind of light. It's really hard to tell if this is pink or purple. It just depends on the light. So I'm going to say this is a pretty true mauve and a light gray, kind of a taupey gray though. So it's interesting. It's two colors that could be any number of things. This hat stripes up in this fashion, stripes up, and then there's a lace kind of flower motif at the top, which I'm hoping I will have enough yarn to do out of the mauve at the top. So this will be super fun. I have lots of shawls and things that this will match, and yeah, it's been great. It was great and easy knitting while I was watching the Astros baseball game yesterday because it's stockinette in the round. So it's like a big sock tube and you really don't even have to think about it. I'm knitting as we speak because every stitch counts, right? So anyway, I am not doing like the jogless jog thing. I think I tried it at the very beginning, but I don't know. I just am not that concerned about it. So there's the beginning of the round. I think I tried to do something right there and it ended up looking worse. And so now I'm just back to regular switching. That honestly, like I could care less that you can see where the beginning of the round is. That doesn't bother me at all. So, so that I'm just going with that and just going to keep knitting. And because this is in a place that's easy stockinette, unlike really almost any of my other sock projects right now, this may be travel knitting. And I mean travel like around errands, you know, on the go knitting because I'm not doing any traveling for a week or so. So that is It's a Girl Thing by Joji Locatelli. And the last kind of in this category of works in progress, I pulled out, let's see if I can find the yarn tag. I do have it because I could not remember the name of this colorway. This yarn is by Brazen Stitchery, who is one of my local Texas dyers. And the colorway is called You'll Shoot Your Eye Out. Self-striping on her Paparazzi sock, which is a Stellina base. And it is so fun. I started these last year because I did Socktober last year and then I had no sock whips, and I think I cast on like 10 socks for Christmas and finished none of them. So here is the first sock tube. I love, love, love this bright green, the red, the confetti speckle stripe is so pretty. I mean, I absolutely love this colorway. So, and I cast on the second one. I'm almost done with the ribbing. I'm knitting these on DPNs out of my signature needles that my husband bought me. So the second cuff is almost done. I'm just doing one color repeat for the cuff, and then I'll start knitting a sock tube and it'll zoom. So the last thing that I worked on over the last couple of weeks, I put some squares into 2 of my mitered square scrub blankets. So that is worth mentioning because neither one of them has had a lot of attention as of late, but I put a square of predictability in my, this is my smaller one that technically is supposed to just have like my soft muted pinks and purples, but like I put all of my Southern Charm collection in it because it was just so pretty. This one fits the bill, but I will say that unless it's like one of my yarns that matches this theme or is just so pretty that I can't stand it, it doesn't go in here. I am pretty selective. And then this one went in. This is Crybaby by Hedgehog Fibers. It certainly is not muted in that it has neon speckles, but it is white and leans. If neon speckles are a neutral, then it totally works. So I think there's a little over 50 squares. Clearly I'm not in a hurry for any of these, but it's just fun to have a lot of my favorite yarns and favorite colored scraps all in one place. I know these are not everybody's cup of tea, and I do not ever intend, at least anytime in the near future, to make this like a focus project, but it is fun every now and then just putting in a square. So that is one of them. And then the second one that I put in a square that I actually really, every time I pull it out more and more, I love it so much. I love it because it has no rhyme or reason other than these are all by the same yarn dyer. And this is what I'm calling my DVD blanket of awesome. It has its own hashtag on Instagram. But these are all Desert Vista Dye Works yarns, because between all of the yarns that I have personally knit or the yarns that I have won in giveaways for participating in her knit-alongs or bought mini skein sets or whatever, I have quite the stash. I mean, you should see the bag of scraps that are all Desert Vista. It's kind of nuts. And nuts in the best way, right? So anyway, but yeah, I've got, I don't know, maybe 25-ish squares on this. I started off thinking that I was going to do them in a just random pattern, and then that was not going to happen for me. And so then I just started orienting them all in the same direction. But all of this to say, the latest square that I put on is this one. This is something to do with a Grinch. I can't exactly remember the name of it, but that is the square that I have put on most recently. And then I actually took a picture and put it on Instagram because I was doing some some spatial planning on this one, trying to figure out, you know, which yarn was going to go where, based on what I had. I try to, like for example, I would not put probably another neon next to this. Like I kind of want, if there's a lot of green in an area, then I want to, you know, balance it out. So, which I know is maybe opposite of what some people would do. They would try to put like colors together, but I'm purposely trying to make it as crazy and as scrappy as possible, which just adds to the fun for me. So those are my 2 blankets. They both fold, so they are official blankets, right? So if you want to know, again, information about these, I do have one project. I think it's the project page for this one, the Desert Vista one, on Ravelry. This one is 64 stitch squares that I've started with. And this one is not on Ravelry, but it's the same pattern, but I'm doing 44 stitch squares. So a little bit smaller. I believe these use like 2 to 3 grams approximately, and these use around 9 grams. They're also knit on different size needles, but all of that is explained on my pattern page. So that is it for works in progress. I do have one Hello Lovely that is only yarn related in that it was given to me by a sweet yarny friend, and because it says Hello Lovely, which of course is the name of this segment. So I just had to show it off. This beautiful mug that says Hello Lovely in a beautiful blush pink. Could not be more perfect. So thank you so much, Camden. Camden is one of our Texas girl friends, and we, after so much time of not being able to hang out with each other, I finally got to see my Texas girls at my trunk show at Hill Country Weavers about a week and a half ago. So it just made my heart so full to see them and to have a meal with them, for them to come out and support me at an event where I was selling yarn, and it was just amazing. So thank you so much. And it's got me all weepy because I'm probably just a few days away from that special time of month when everyone gets angry and weepy over nothing. That's probably TMI, but if you're coming here to not experience a little TMI, then you're probably in the wrong spot. I think that's it for Hello Lovelies. I do want to mention, oh my gosh, the trunk show at Hill Country Weavers was amazing. I stayed with a friend of mine in Austin and had a gorgeous meal that she and her husband prepared for me. I laughed. I wrote my husband and said that her husband loves wine like we love yarn. He is a wine connoisseur. He goes on wine traveling and acquisition trips to Napa and all over the country. Absolutely amazing. And I know Susan is watching this, so hi, Susan. It was the most lovely time to spend with you, and your hospitality, opening your home and your craft room to me was amazing. So thank you so much. But yeah, I got to experience a 2 wine course meal, which was very fancy for me. So I really enjoyed that. So thank you so much. I just could not have been more welcomed in your home, and it was so lovely. So between having a friend to stay with and then seeing so many friends and familiar faces and making new friends at the trunk show, I got to like run into and meet a sweet lady who we both went to the same church about a decade ago. And when her kids were tiny and my kids were probably not even born yet. And yeah, so I just got to run into her in Austin there, which was so crazy in such a small world. I had some other customers come all the way from Katy, which is probably about 10 miles from where I actually live. And then they drove all the way to Austin to get my yarn. They were the first customers of the day. They were just so sweet. And then I had my Texas friends come in to hang out with me. I had my friend Christina, another horn frog, drive all the way from Dallas. Just basically, we laugh because basically she does this every year at my trunk show. She comes all the way to bring me a meal and sit and knit with me for, 2 or 3 hours and then leave, which is the most generous and lovely, wonderful thing. And for those of y'all that are not as familiar with Texas geography, that's about a 3.5 hour one-way drive just to spend 3 hours with me and then turn around and drive back home. So it's hugely generous of her. So she brought me sustenance in the middle of the day, and that was amazing. The hospitality of the group at Hill Country, Suzanne and Kennedy were so amazing. I cannot say enough words. So y'all were amazing. I was there for Friday and Saturday, and over half of my yarn sold on Friday, which was great. I just got the very few remainders of what is from the trunk show, and that's going to be going up on the website today. Yeah, so everything was just so lovely with that show. Thank you all so much. Other shop news that's coming up, because this is sort of bleeding into shop news, I want to mention that what I'm going to put up today, and then maybe a few things next week, into the shop. And then I am going to be not having a lot of things in the shop over the next couple of weeks, other than some pre-orders and some things that I'll mention. But the reason for that is that I am going to be bringing some yarn to Canada. And I am gonna have some yarn available. So for those of you that are attending, there is a little marketplace one of the days. I don't know exactly which day. I think maybe Friday or Saturday, but there's a little marketplace, and I will have some yarn at one of the tables, crossing my fingers, hopefully, how much I can squeeze into a suitcase. So that will be there. I have another couple of fun things that are happening and debuting at the retreat. So that's really exciting. And I'm looking on my phone because I'm hoping I don't have a message yet, but I might soon. So there's just so much coming up that's really exciting. The one thing that I want to show you that's super exciting, that will be debuting at the marketplace, is I have done a little bag and yarn set with Jody of Mrs. Brown's Bags, and we have worked together over the last couple of months, and we are going to have bag and yarn set that debuts at the Edmonton retreat. Knit for Fun, hosted by Ann Budd. And yeah, so I have been dyeing a lot of yarn for that. So I guess right now, I don't know if I should show it to you or not. I keep looking over here at this huge pile of yarn that isn't even all of it that's dyed. But yeah, so that is upcoming. I'm so excited to show it to you guys. I cannot even stand it. But I think that may just get debuted officially on Instagram. But just know that that's coming, and whatever doesn't sell at the retreat will go into her shop and will sell from there. It's a beautiful colorway. I'm really proud of it. Her bag is stunning, and I'm really excited about that, and I just can't wait. I think that might be it for this episode. I, as always, am so grateful for you spending your time with me and stopping in, and I hope that you have a lovely, lovely week or two, or however long it is until we speak again, and I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.